Hello, Abnormal Investigations. I hope everybody's having a good Sunday. We're going to do our drop today. Probably may not be doing drops on Sundays after this Sunday. I'm going to start taking Sundays off. But this Sunday we are definitely going to put this drop out. So here's what we got, guys. Here's the encounter. I've been meaning to start telling some of these strange stories that have been happening to me and my family for a long time. I wasn't sure where to start, and that kept me from writing about any of it. But now things are getting more frequent, and as of writing this, there are nightly occurrences now. Every night, at almost the same time. For a little bit of context, I live in the heart of the Appalachians, some of the tallest, most forested parts of the entire mountain range. We've had our share of sightings of ghosts, lights in the sky, things that are in nature that some people just don't understand. But the biggest problem we have is the woodbookers, or the mountain boss as some call them, which I will explain after a bit of background. My grandmother and my father are all of us live on a small native reservation in the mountains. We've grown up with the stories of the entities and monsters that can hide in the hills and hollers of our land. Growing up, my granny never let us go outside after dark, no matter if it was 7 p.m. in the evening, because dark comes early here in the winter. If the sun was down, we were inside. We weren't allowed to be loud, look out the window, or whistle after the sun set either. Just like at my granny's. The first time I heard it myself, my sister, father, and I were sitting on the porch having a late night shoot the bull session, just catching up with one another. My sister's dog, Tony, a fearless pit bull, started to growl from her spot under the bench. She stood and moved to the edge of the porch. Her hackles were raised like I'd never seen before. Then came the first loud, resounding knock, knock, knock. 3 in a row, probably 15 seconds between each. We all looked at each other on the front porch, knowing that whatever was beating on the house was no stranger. It had started coming up every night. Now, we knew that we couldn't go out after dark, but my dad always told us if we did to make sure we had a light. I had my flashlight that night, and I told my grandpa I was going to look down the side of the house and see what it was. And he kind of looked at me with this look and he said, "Go ahead then, see what it is." So I walked down off of the porch, walked to the side of the house, raised my flashlight really fast, turned on the light, and there it was. This tall creature with red, matted, curly red hair. But the weird thing is, it had a huge gut. I mean, this thing had a huge stomach, like it been drinking beer all of its life. It was really weird. It screamed at me. But the weird thing is, it did not run away. When it screamed, it jumped up, grabbed the side of the roof, and pulled itself up and went on top of the house. My grandpa and dad yelled for me to come inside. Whenever I went inside, it must have been angry because we could hear it on top of the house running as the light fixture in the kitchen was swinging from it running on top of the house. I was mortified. I was scared to death. The terror. I was crying. I was upset. I remember everybody grabbing their guns, locking the doors, turning out the lights, telling everybody to be quiet, and we were all huddling in the one bedroom. This went on for a while, and everything got quiet, and that's when it started rattling the doorknob. I was so scared, so scared. We could see the door from the bedroom we was hiding in. The little light we'd left on in the front room shined a light on that door. You could see the gold handle rattling, but what was worse is a thin piece of board or a stick, I'm not sure what it had found, stuck through the side of the door and was going up and down, hitting the latch part that goes into the door facing. It was trying to pick the lock. And that's when my grandpa done the one thing that I was so happy he done. He fired his old .22 pistol right through the door. It sounded like he had shot a large dog. It growled, but it whimpered, and you could hear it running away with the toenails on the sidewalk that led down to the old garage. And then we heard it smash into the garage like it had ran straight into it. And then it ran off into the hollow. We all stepped outside, keeping us close and by the front door. That's when it roared, like a loud screaming roar. I remember watching my grandpa and my dad look at each other. We went into the house, and that's when my grandpa did something I'd never seen before. He had an old 22. I don't know the kind it was, but it had a 22. It was a 22 with a golden trigger. It was a semi-automatic. It was his prize. He walked out on the porch, and I remember he aimed it toward the direction it was howling. It was still howling, and he just unloaded that thing in that direction. Then there was silence. Nothing has happened since, but that was the scariest night. In the Appalachians, you never know what's going to happen, Mike. I wish you could visit them sometime. If you ever get a chance to get that vehicle you're talking about, I hope that the Appalachians will be one of your stops, because there are so many different things down here you could experience. You never know what's going to be lurking about. I've heard a lot of stories about the Appalachians, and that is one of the places I would like to visit, and would for sure go there. You know, there's a lot of places I want to go to. I want to hit Louisiana. I would like to go up the coast. I'd like to hit a few places up there, and a few places in Missouri and Arkansas, or some places I'd like to go to. So maybe someday, guys, we can all go on the road, and I can take you guys with me, and we can look at a lot of different places, explore them, set up some equipment, and I can take you guys with me and give me ideas, and we'll just travel and see what we can find, and what we can find and what we can debunk maybe. Thanks for listening, guys. Have a great Sunday. Spend it with your family. God bless you guys. We'll see you on the next one.